And we are live, and welcome everyone back to the Sanctum Sanctorum. I am Widow's Son, your host as always. TF is running a little bit behind, so he'll be joining us here shortly, but I wanted to go ahead and get this stream started for the evening. I know this is a little unusual, doing a show on a Monday evening, but, last night's show went, really well. And so I was just thinking and talking to TF, and I thought we'd go ahead and do another one. Deathclaw, how you doing? Nice to see you here. So a little bit of interesting information about the show last night, as a matter of fact. Now, TF and I were actually talking about old school wrestling, because we're both big old school wrestling fans. What's up, Quentin? Nice to see you here too. Maybe passing out some random links here in just a little bit. Here's TF. He just arrived. TF, what's going on, bro?
It's going good. Just got back from visiting our hometown.
Oh yeah. You were telling me about that yesterday. I was actually just filling the and Sphinx, what's going on? Good to see you here as well. I was actually just filling in everyone about what happened to the video of the stream that we did last night. So what it was is, for like the last half of the show, we were talking about basically like old school wrestling. And one thing that TF and I are really trying to do, which we are going to be doing, and just as a quick reminder, we are going to be doing another show this coming Sunday. And I have spoke to Wanderer, and Wanderer will be joining us. So everyone tune in for that. Really, really excited to have him on. He has done an incredible job on the artwork for not only my profile picture and avatar for the channel, but for the channel as a whole. And I'm really, really, really excited to have him on. So, anyway, what happened was toward the end of the show, my illustrious co-host here showed a couple of videos. One of them was, the first one was like a countdown of like, I think it was falling.
Entrances fails.
Yeah, entrance fails. Okay, and then the second one was like a really, really bad persona of the Shockmaster, which basically consisted of a man dressing up in spandex with a cape and a stormtrooper helmet covered in glitter, and he just smashed through a wall. Well, lo and behold, that particular... Oh, thank you, Quentin. Really, really appreciate that, my dude. You and everyone made that happen, and it really, really means a lot to us here. And we're just taking it step by step and show by show, and we're going to keep doing this, man. And your support really means a lot. So we showed the video, and after we got done and it was posted, I was getting ready to lay down and actually just watch TV, and I got an email from YouTube saying that there was a copyright infringement or strike or what have you, and it was because of that particular video. So while I was at work last night, I wasn't going to dispute it, because it was like maybe like a 2-minute video, and we did it like in the last 3 minutes of the show. So I just allowed YouTube to go through, trim the video down. So if you go back and watch last night's episode, towards the end, it may skip just a little bit. So I just wanted to go ahead and let you know about that. But no, the YouTube party is not over for me. It's just getting started. We're going to stick with this as long as we can. Who knows? Maybe one of these days me and TF will get picked up by like XM Sirius Radio or whatever they call it. And then oh yeah, that would be super cool. And then we could just do whatever we want. We could be like Howard Stern and just have random people just come in and just like, hey, we want to throw like a bucket of poo on you, and we'll give you like, $50 or something. So, but yeah, we got our first copyright issue last night because of that video. But no big deal. I just let YouTube just trim it out. Didn't hurt anything. So, and we were talking earlier or today or last night sometime, and I was just thinking, hey, let's just go ahead, let's do another one, and just go from there. So, yeah, copyright strikes all around on me and TF. We're buying. So so TF, how did you were talking about your flight yesterday? How long? When did you get back? Did you just get back today?
Yeah, I got back today. Flight actually landed early, around 1:25ish or so. Supposed to arrive at 1:45, and so I was delighted by that. But when you land in a big city's international airport from our hometown's regional airport, the experience is definitely different. TSA, I don't even think they have TSA at the regional airport in our hometown. They just have security, and security is very laid back. They let you come in, and they explain everything to you in a very laid back manner. You're like, okay, I need to take my computer out. Oh, here's everything. You're able to put everything in correct order, and you're not rushed. But the TSA in a big city, you are, they don't explain anything to you. They just say, put your stuff in here, put them in separate containers if you need to, and take off your shoes. And so
squat
you take off
and squat and cough.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's only after the naked body scanner.
What they should do is Total Recall, that scene in Total Recall where Arnold is going through the security port. I guess it's like a train station or something, and he walks behind that black screen or glass or whatever, and it's like a full body X-ray, and basically it shows the bones and if you're carrying a weapon. I think they really should develop something like that.
Yeah, the naked body scanner apparently doesn't do just that. It shows everything nature gave you.
So it's just like if you have I don't know, a pair of nail clippers or something taped to your ball sack or something.
Well, it doesn't so much show that as it will show if you do have any.
you have a pube out of place. That looks quite suspicious.
Oh yeah. Here, I'm going to send you this image that I found.
I'm afraid. When some of the things you send me are rather like the picture you sent me of what almost got you put in Facebook jail. But that
was hey, dude, here's the thing that's so crazy about that. When people started, I just sent it to you. So when they saw my status, people started posting other pictures of face masks with ball gags on them. But yet those are okay, and somehow mine wasn't.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what those naked body scanners will show. And the TSA actually got busted.
Wait, hang on. I have a question. How is it that this woman is able to live with what looks like a pistol completely shoved up her ass?
Well, I don't think it's shoved up there. I think what it is if you've got it on your person.
According to this picture, it looks like it's just crammed on up there, man.
Well, it's not an X-ray machine. It's meant to scan through your clothes.
Well, I get that, but still, the way the picture comes out, it looks like the pistol is just straight up the bum, dude.
Yep. Well, so going to this though, when those naked body scanners first came out, and that image I sent you is the inverse image. So the actual image
Is that what they were? Was that what they were using to basically sell this idea?
I don't know. They were trying to say, like, you'll be able to see anything on a person, but this is the original image. And they were like, you'll be able to see anything on a person. So as you can tell, if you just do basically the negative of that image, you will actually see the person completely naked. And what the TSA got busted for about 10 years ago is that they were they were saving images of women they found particularly attractive and sharing them with each other. So they were like, so what we were hearing from the TSA and the company that makes these scanners initially was, oh, it won't save the images. Well, it turned out they all were lying, and not only were the images being saved, they were also sharing them, like getting them off the computer and sharing them. So any woman, and it's like everybody was at risk of this, but especially women, because they were just taking these images and sharing them around. And, I've had people tell me before, they're like, well, big deal, because they've said the same thing when it turned out that the NSA, they had some guys who were working for the NSA, and, they were intercepting all these nude photos. And then some of the guys were saving the nude photos and sharing them around. And I had a girl tell me one time, she goes, big deal. It's not like you haven't seen anyone naked before. And I was like, or you haven't seen a naked woman's body. And I was like, look, it's not that they haven't seen a naked woman's body. It's the fact that if you sent nude photos to someone, you meant it to be for that person. And they are violating your privacy doing that. And then when they did the same, it's the same principle with the naked body scanners. It's not that it's a naked body. It's your naked body, and they are able to then violate your privacy. And that's the bigger issue, I think, that gets lost in a lot of the excuses that people have. And I'm going, what happens? Let's say that someone gets that image, and they pass it around to whomever, and it goes up on the internet, or, someone, there's a big data dump of nude photos that girls have texted to their boyfriends.
Yeah.
And then suddenly someone does an image lookup. They find like one of our friends or somebody that we know. They find her image, and they're able to ruin her life with it. I'm like,
well, now that actually brings up another very interesting topic. Excuse me. I was watching I think it was one of these. It was one of these countdown videos or something on YouTube, and it was basically centered around like the deep web and the dark web and everything. And one of the websites that they actually mentioned was a deep web or dark web website called Pink Meth. And basically, what this is it's it's basically like a revenge, kind of like a revenge porn site in a way.
Yeah.
And what they do is they guys will go on there. They'll post any pictures of, like, ex-girlfriends or whatever. Post all of their social media information, this, that, and the other. And it's basically, hello, Faith. I'm glad that you're here. That's a good friend of mine from, we used to work together a long time ago. Glad that she's here. Faith, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and get the notification bell on. Got to be that typical YouTuber. Got to push that. So, so basically, what it is like, it's just basically like revenge. And then, like, it's basically a way for people to go and stalk these women. And that's basically what it is. So what you're kind of describing to me sounds similar to that. And then, of course, now, on the countdown that I was watching, there was a story. One of the, I'll have to send you the link to that countdown, because the countdown's actually really interesting. But hey, Rage, how's it going? No, you're fine. You're fine. Like I said, this is just This was a surprise stream. We thought we'd keep the party going from last night since we hit the 50 subs, and we got that show coming up with Wanderer on Sunday. So, no, you're all good, man. But basically, the actual one of the stories that they told was somebody got this one user's information and started contacting her and blackmailing her to basically perform let's just say perform acts with another species. Let's just put it that way.
Oh gosh.
And if she didn't, then basically they would post the pictures that were on this particular website, send them to her friends and family, yada, yada, yada. They blackmailed her. So the girl actually did it. The person didn't do what they said they were going to do, and she ended up actually killing herself.
That happened before. Look up the story of Amanda Todd.
That was the girl in Canada, right?
Right, and that was one of those stories you had. As horrible as that was, and it was horrible. That was one of those things where you saw Anonymous basically come out, and collectively they found the guy who had been blackmailing her, and then
he was in
suicide. And the guy was like 35 years old, living in New Jersey, blackmailing a Canadian girl.
No, I think he was actually in another country.
Let's see.
I think he was actually in I want to say he was in Sweden or Switzerland or Denmark or something like that. Something I don't want to say. I think he maybe in the UK. I have no idea, but I know because he was doing it to I don't know, a half a dozen or more, or a dozen other girls.
No, he was in New Jersey.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I'm looking this up because
there's actually a I don't know if you've seen it, but there's actually a documentary. It's a show out of Canada called The Fifth Element, and it's similar to kind of 60 Minutes here in America. And they actually did.
You're right, dude. You're right. I was wrong. The guy was a Dutchman.
Oh, so he was in Switzerland.
Yeah. Wait, let's see. Hold on. Koblenz, but his extradition to Canada. Oh, he was extradited to Canada.
Well, of course he would have had to have been extradited. I mean, there's no way that they could have actually charged him in Sweden for this particular crime, for a death in another country.
But the Swedes wanted to get rid of him. Well, Dutch is Netherlands,
right? Well, see,
the Netherlands, they wanted to get rid of him. The Dutch wanted to get rid of this guy.
Oh, right. Well, take a look at does the name Peter Scully ring a bell?
Yeah.
Take a look at that. Take a look at that sick douchebag. He's sitting in jail in the Philippines for the rest of his life for making those snuff.
Oh, yeah.
And the Philippines had actually done away with their death penalty. They were actually in negotiations to bring their death penalty back into effect just for him, which honestly, I really wish they had done.
Yeah. There have been cases even in this country where people were who were normally opposed to the death penalty were like, sure, let it happen to this guy.
So what I'm going to do right now, since we got a pretty decent discussion going on right now, I'm going to go to the Discord server, and I'm going to send out a couple of links, and I'm going to bring in some people. Now, when I bring you on, let's, you can, hey, what's up, K-Dog? Glad that you're here. So we're gonna bring in a couple of people. Now, you can pretty much say whatever you want, and when it comes to this particular subject that we're going to be discussing, let's kind of let's be adult about this. Let's just keep it calm. Let's just have some friendly discussion back and forth about this. So let me go to the server. But anyway, there was, I mean, you have, and see, it all goes back to what is the invasion of privacy, what is not the invasion of privacy kind of thing. But then you've got these people that are, that are just going to take advantage of people in their vulnerability and exploit it. So let me see. We will send the first link to. Okay, the first link has gone out. We'll see if we get them in here in just a few moments. All right. So you've got people that are basically exploiting people for money. But I mean, what's the real purpose of it? But when you look at people like Peter Scully, it's more than exploitation. It's absolute horror. It's just a human being basically selling the most inhumane acts that they could possibly conceive of. And the simple fact of the matter is, and trust me, not a day goes by that any time that I actually hear that man's name that I don't stop and thank the great architect that he is rotting in jail for the rest of his life. Now 60 Minutes out of Australia did an interview with him, and if you haven't seen that, I'll have to send it to you. He apparently was writing a journal of some kind. Basically, I don't know if it was him detailing like what he was involved in or what he had done or things like that, because at one point the lady who was conducting the interview was basically just looking at him, and his answer, every single one of his answers was just it's in the journal. It's in the journal. It's in the journal. And then he looks at the woman and he's just like, are we done here? Because we're just kind of going in circles. And so, I mean, he's still just that
arrogant.
Yeah, he's just that arrogant. Like, he knows exactly what he did was wrong, but he's just kind of like, whatever. So yeah, I'm really, really, really glad that he was caught, and he's people like that are, man, there's obviously several things wrong with their brain, and but it's not uncommon though for our child predators and other types of predators to have that degree of narcissism. And from what I've been able to read and talking to friends who are therapists, so this is an unofficial opinion here, but everything that you just described sounds like the guy has antisocial personality disorder. And it's like when we think of antisocial personality disorder, we think of people like Peter Scully and Ted Bundy. No, when I think antisocial personality disorder, I do the name Peter Scully does not come to mind whatsoever. It's just simply, he's got a fucking screw loose in his brain, and when the cops caught up with him, they should have just, put him on his knees and put a bullet in the back of his head. All right, so our first surprise guest is here.
I think I must have come in at the wrong time, because all I heard was on his knees and a bullet in his head, and I'm like, all right, well, I should probably leave. I don't want to die tonight.
Quentin, how's it going, man?
What's up, man? I'm just same old shit, different ginger.
No, it'd be the same ginger, different shit.
Well, actually, I've been going to therapy, so
Oh,
different
nice.
ginger.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
good for you, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people underestimate how good therapy can be, and I think everybody should go at least once because
That's
everybody.
fucking terrifying, though. Like, no shit. Like, I've had guns pointed at me. I have had threats on my life, and those didn't scare me. Going to therapy scares the fuck out of me.
Hey man, don't suggest therapy to a Scientologist because that offends them and shit. So
Yeah,
Well-
I don't talk to Tom Cruise anymore because of that.
save me, Tom Cruise.
You know?
But congratulations to you guys on 50 subs, man. That's awesome. Congrats.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate that. We actually just hit 52 just a moment ago, so
Hell yeah.
we're steadily making the way. We're shooting for 60 now. But no, what we were been talking about, and I'm not sure how long you were listening, but we were talking about basically the exploitation of innocent people. Like basically like these sites on the deep web, like Revenge. I mentioned one called Pink Meth. It's basically like a revenge porn site, but worse. It's a way to basically like cyber stalk, innocent women and all of this.
Dude, even Pornhub's getting even I think Pornhub is actually getting shut down now because of some shit that got posted up there, and Pornhub refused to put it down.
Oh yeah, because it involved actual child pornography.
Yeah.
What?
Well, not
wait,
even
wait,
that.
Wait. What? I haven't heard of this.
Yeah, it wasn't just child.
The gaps.
Well, it wasn't just child pornography. Yeah, there was child porn, and then there was an actual woman getting raped, and she actually begged the people that run the site to take it down, and they didn't. And she's suing them, and I know that the family of the poor child is also suing, so they might actually be shut down.
Well,
a couple months.
On top of that, there was also other reports where anonymous sex tapes had been made without both parties consenting to it, and it was uploaded to Pornhub. And so, like, apparently there are a lot of people watching these anonymous tapes because they were just everybody who's watching for the most part is under the assumption that this is all an act,
Yeah.
Well, now, hang on just a second. Now, while I don't agree with the like anonymous tapes being posted like that, my whole thing with that is that that things like that happen all the time, and like just say let's just take this for example. Let's just take that typical frat rat douchebag. Going to college, living on mommy and daddy's money, and he just picks up some freshman girl and has a camera going, and the next thing you know, it's all over Pornhub and whatever other sites.
Yeah,
it happens all the time, but the fact that it.
But the woman didn't consent to it, though. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, no.
Well, right. I get that.
Time.
I'm not condoning it by any means. I'm not condoning it at all. I'm just saying like things like that happen all the time, and how did she find out about this? Did she just see it, or did somebody?
Well, so what happened? I can't remember the exact story. I was following it for a while on Twitter, and then it just got out of hand. So I was just like, all right, I'm out of this. But apparently what had happened was she was and Ferguson, correct me if I'm wrong because I might have been reading into a different one, but what happened was she ended up being drugged, and she was incapacitated, and then the dude did his thing and put it up on Pornhub, and then one of her friends had saw that and was just like, hey, did you know about this? And then that started the shitstorm that is now currently Pornhub.
Yeah, that's it. Can't remember how it was. I think that started the initial case, and then they just started going through it, seeing if there were any more
Oh, there's a
that-
shit ton.
And yeah, and it turned out there were like several anonymous tapes that were put up, and without the woman's consent. Then you had the ones where the girls were actually being raped that were put up there, and then you had the child porn, because it was like, instead of like being with the title teen and just using actors and actresses that are 25 who look like they're teens, it was actual teens that were having sex on camera and doing all sorts of other sexual acts. And so that was what has caused this big uproar. But the thing that's so surprising to me about this is like that it's taken this long for them to progress to shut it down, because you would think, because most people don't know how Pornhub got so big. And I'll give you guys the quick history, because Ronson,
because TF knows all about that internet porn.
Well, John Ronson, who researched this, did a whole book on this, and he went on the Joe Rogan podcast and talked about it. And so, what a lot of other porn companies tried to get bank loans before, and what they would say is, "Well, hey, we're filming porn," and the banks would deny them because the banks don't want to involved in that business. Well, what Pornhub did is they said, "Oh, we're a technology service. We're a technology company,"
which is not entirely true, but it's not entirely false either.
No, but that's the way they marketed it, and they got the business loans, and they got a huge loan for being a tech company because of when they started, and they started developing it, and then people started uploading all the porn. Well, then people started uploading things from the publishers, and the publishers started using the DMCA to request to take them down. Well, then what Pornhub went back and did, because every time they take something down, somebody else would just put it right back up. They started going out and buying out all these companies with the bank loan money that they had, and with
they
all
also
the money.
tried to deny. They also tried to deny that the video was the girl being raped. This is what I heard, and this is what I've been reading. Like one of them, one of the times that Pornhub admitted, vehemently just denied that this shit was going on, that the child porn wasn't in fact child. They were categorized as barely illegal or some shit like that. I don't really watch porn. I'm asexual, so not my thing. But the problem that all uploading sites and all streaming sites, they have the same algorithm as each other, just a little bit different. Like YouTube, unless it's actually flagged, or if someone who watches it whenever it gets viewed absolutely sees something that they cannot let go, they won't do anything about the video. It's kind of, in Pornhub is the same way, and they've been getting really lazy on some of the shit that, at least what I've been heard, has been getting away with. Like at one point there was a whole bunch of videos of women having sex with dogs and all kinds of shit. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, and so one thing that happens with this is these servers are hosted in California, and California already has strict laws on all of this stuff. And so what they were doing is they were going by, Pornhub was buying up all these companies, and so now Pornhub they pretty much own the porn industry. So when people are like, "Oh, Pornhub's going to be shut down," yeah, that's true. But there are a lot of other paid sites that exist that people are still going to. The publishers that used to be independent are now owned by Pornhub. So while the site may go down, Pornhub as an industry is here to stay. And unless this case blows up to such an extent, they have to close everything down, and then porn goes back to being independent publishers again.
Well,
even Bang Bros, and that website title just makes me disgusted. But Bang Bros was worried they were going to go out of business. There was a few other that I didn't recognize that were like, "Oh shit, we better buy back our company, or otherwise we're going to go under." Because this thing, what it's looking like is this is going to be a big time case, and it doesn't
Yeah.
look like Pornhub's gonna win it for sure.
And they shouldn't. They totally deserve to be.
Oh, I agree.
Run out of town because of this. Because it's like what they've done is they've not only allowed criminal acts to occur.
Yeah.
And they've not only allowed criminal acts to occur, they've turned a blind eye to criminal acts occurring, and then they've just kind of arrogantly scoffed at people, and they say, "Hey, can you we demand you take this down," even with like letters from lawyers sending them cease and desist letters, and it's just ridiculous. And so what they're in this case, it's going to hit a lot of people because again, it's
now,
like I heard Joe Rogan.
I have a question. Now, are they going to simply be prosecuting the actual company and the website, or are they actually going to be prosecuting the users as well?
Well, the problem with prosecuting the users is most of the time they can't pinpoint the actual account because you can literally you can log on to Pornhub, not have an account, and there's ways to upload shit like anonymously.
Right, but see, uploading a video still leaves a digital trail.
Yeah,
but then
the viewers are going to be pretty much safe.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the viewers. I'm talking about like the actual uploader.
The uploaders, the uploaders are going to get they're going to get prosecuted too because Widow is right. It does leave a tray. It does leave a fingerprint, and they will.
But there's some people that have been uploading. Well, there have been some people that have been uploading with a VPN. So,
but they can still be traced.
Yeah, VPN can still be traced.
I know that the big lawsuit against Pornhub, they've already filed another suit against one of the people that uploaded. Because dude, this girl had multiple fucking videos that were up, not just one. I mean, several of her that she didn't even know about that have gone up on the web, and she's already she's trying to prosecute. I think one of them was her ex-boyfriend. I honestly can't remember.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I brought such an inflammatory.
No. I mean, we were kind of discussing, similar stuff like that. Honestly, what I think should happen, and just to kind of lighten the mood, I think that Pornhub and fans only, that they make stuff like that now.
Oh God!
I think that they should. I think they should sue Shanny for Christ for.
Oh no! You saw that?
No, I've never seen it, but I've heard of it. I've heard the horror stories. And
wait, who did you hear it from?
Drunken Peasants.
Oh, okay.
Wait. What happened? What?
So there's a circle that I run with, and they're connected with a lot of big YouTubers. I actually just got done being on one of the bigger YouTubers' live streams on Twitch. And there's this woman who's not only ugly, but in the physical way, but also as a person. She made some porn. That if you see it, if you see this shit, I'm telling you now, bleaching your eyes isn't going to solve the fucking problem. I mean, dude. Look, listen.
Oh God,
listen. I'm asexual, okay? I don't want to have sex with anything, and my penis fell off when I saw this shit. It just died. It was done.
Nope. When I've learned my lesson, when people say this is disgusting, you don't want to watch it, I'm not going to watch it.
Depending on what it is. Now, have you seen? Now, the movie that I'm about to mention.
Oh no!
I don't know a lot of people who have actually seen it, and if they have seen it, it's either scarred them for life or they've never been able to actually finish watching the movie. Have you ever seen a movie called A Serbian Film?
Oh no, we are not talking about that.
Oh, I've heard
No,
about.
no. Just next topic, please. No.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm not saying we discussed the movie, but I'm just using that as an example about what TF has been talking about. So,
My God.
you've never seen a Serbian film, TF?
Nope. I've heard about
You
it.
lucky
and
motherfucker. You
I
lucky
will not.
motherfucker.
Nope, I have no desire to ever see it.
I wish I was in your position. I mean,
I
fuck, man.
I have actually seen the movie and I did watch it all the way through. I had never heard of the movie, and see now I do like strange and fucked up movies. Like one of my favorites is Cannibal Holocaust. Absolutely love that movie. It's so.
I thought you were gonna say Human Centipede. I was about to bounce.
You know, honestly, I've never. Yo, TF, you remember One Guy, One Jar?
Oh God, not the Pain Olympics.
Nope. I did not see that. Nope.
I don't even want to know. But no, I like Cannibal Holocaust. Cannibal Holocaust is one of the most awesome horror movies. It's basically considered it was the inspiration behind the Blair Witch Project in a way, because this was the first like quote unquote found footage movie. Basically the premise of it is this film crew went into the Amazon to study and film this indigenous tribe. And what ends up happening is some of the crew end up basically attacking one of the tribal women. The tribe fight back, and basically they consume the crew. Well, they send another crew down to try to locate them, and in turn, they locate the footage. So basically, it was like the first, if not one of the first, found footage movies. The guy who actually made the film was brought up on charges of murder because he made everyone who was in the cast of the movie sign a agreement that they would not appear in public appearances, interviews, talk shows, whatever, for 1 year after the film was released. When the film was released, it was banned in several countries for obscenity. And the director was actually put on trial for murder because they actually thought that these people had been killed. So these people had to break this confidentiality agreement to appear in court to show that they were still alive. So, bless you. So, but, you know, I enjoy movies like that. But I had a friend of mine several years ago. Me and him were hanging out. And he looked at me and he's like, man, you like fucked up movies, don't you? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I got one that you need to watch. And he said, this movie will two things will happen. It will either completely disgust you and you'll never want to ever watch it again, or you will regret the day that you watched it, or both. And I'm like, okay, what's it called? And he told me, and he said it's called a Serbian film. And I'm like, okay. So I went and found it online, and I kicked back and I started watching it. And I can honestly say, TF, this is a movie that I do not want you to see.
I don't want to see it, so we're on that.
But you know of its existence.
Yeah, but I don't have a curiosity about it. I'm good.
Have you read about the movie, like what it's actually about?
Oh yeah, I remember reading that story before.
Okay. Yes. Please. I highly encourage, and I also encourage the audience: do not watch this movie. If you watch this movie, we here at the Sanctum Sanctorum, we are not responsible for your reaction to this movie or anything like that. We are giving you a warning now. Do not watch this.
Warning.
Yeah, do what?
I said I am also not responsible, even though I'm a ginger.
We are telling you now. Do not watch this movie. If you decide to watch this movie, that is on you. But once again, we here at the Sanctum Sanctorum, we recommend highly that you do not watch this movie. If you decide that you want to look into this movie and watch this movie, you are doing it of your own volition. So,
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck, good night, and good luck. But and see that and like going into we were talking about like the websites, like I was talking about like Pink Meth and everything like that. One of the big
Hey guys, I'll be back in about 20 minutes. All right.
Okay. All right, no problem. So one thing, like a lot of like take a look at like on the subject of like the whole exploitation thing. Take a look, like go back into the 70s. Like like the late 70s, like the mid to late 70s, and you had all of those like exploitation and sexploitation horror films.
Oh yeah.
Which were actually, a lot of them were amazing. A lot of them were really, really good.
Well, a lot have been remade, and oddly and interestingly enough, a lot of those have actually been toned down in recent years.
Hello, lady. Hello, lady. Butterfly. Welcome. The topic is a little strange right now, so just letting you know. Excuse me. And rage, don't. Like I said, we are not responsible if you want to watch this movie. So we have warned you, and we are not responsible for this. You are looking it up of your own volition. So basically, like, okay, take the one of Wes Craven's first horror films, which was I Spit on Your Grave. No, it wasn't. Hey, TF, do some Google foo, and I know he did Last House on the Left. That was one of his first horror films, but I want to say, that he also do the original I Spit on Your Grave.
Let me see. Looked him up. Movies. Let's see. So they didn't have ginger ale at the store today, so I got a Sprite instead. So
look, you're a karate man. You're supposed to be quick with the Google foo, man.
I'm there. But hold on. Let's see, director. Okay. Last House on the Left, The Hills Have Eyes, Fireworks Woman. Tim as director. He did not do I Spit on Your Grave. Okay,
well, I know I Spit on the original I Spit on Your Grave. Was and is considered one of the most brutal exploitation and sexploitation horror films of that time. Mostly because if you've seen the original, or even if you've seen the remake, which the remake to me was really not that good. The original, on the other hand, was amazing.
I honestly could not. I couldn't get through them. I tried to watch them, and
I'm only talking about. I'm not talking about like the sequels that they did later on, because those were basically just. The sequels were done initially after the remake.
Dude, those movies, those type of movies are just really difficult for me to watch, and I can't watch them. Like I have to I've been known, like when I'm watching movies with friends and they pull a movie out like that has a really bad scene, like some of those scenes in that movie, I actually have to get up and walk out. Like, I can handle the most brutal war type of movies. I can handle the most brutal types of, interrogation scenes, like James Bond. And he's not even gory according to stuff, but like Saving Private Ryan, the gore in that movie didn't bother me. A lot of other gore, like Quentin Tarantino movies, don't bother me. But when you get into things where it's like assaulting a woman, I can't get in. I have to turn it off and walk away.
Rage says, Widow, I already have seen too much. I'm not blaming this on you. If then stop now, Rage, because it doesn't get any better, and the ending. I'm gonna stop talking about. I'm gonna stop talking about that. There are very, very few movies in this world that have ever just thrown me for a loop or made me absolutely never want to watch them again. And that's one of them. To this day, I really hate the fact that I even know that it exists. I understand that the friend of mine who told me about the movie was doing it with, I guess, I don't really want to say the best of intentions, but he knows that I like weird movies and horror movies and, stuff like that. But now you want to talk about another really crazy exploitation and sexploitation, and actually would be another part of it also falls into another category, which is called Nazi exploitation or something to that effect. It was Ilsa, She-Wolf of the SS. That was an interesting movie. I watched that several years ago. I had a friend of mine who was really into those late 70s, those mid to late 70s, like basically like the late 60s, early, like basically late 60s through the 70s, like exploitation, like the Italian horror, exploitation, sexploitation films. And he had a bunch of them that he had gotten digitally, and he put them on a flash drive for me, and I went through this list. It took me about a month to go through it, and I watched. Hello, Teddy Bear. Hello, Teddy Bear. You are always welcome here, and glad to see you are here. So I watched. Of course, Cannibal Holocaust was on there, and I had to watch Cannibal Holocaust because I love that movie. Cannibal Fiat was on there, or Fiats, or I can't remember how you pronounce it. The original I Spit on Your Grave, Ilsa, She-Wolf of the SS. Suspiria was on there. Suspiria is also considered not only a brilliant horror movie, but it's also considered an exploitation film, if I'm not mistaken. If you've never seen the original Suspiria, I really think you should check that out. It's really, really good. But and I'm like you. I'm not condoning the actions that are being done in these films. I'm not. I watch them strictly out. Now, not going back to the previous film that we had talked about, I watched that one strictly out of just sheer morbid curiosity. And to this day, I wish that I hadn't. And Quentin was right. Bleaching your eyes well, he was describing the what we were talking about earlier, but as far as watching this other movie, bleaching your eyes is not enough. So, like and going back to the original topic where we were, and just strictly talking and just going on back on real talk about the exploitation of people in general, like the whole Pornhub thing. I don't understand. I don't understand why people think that they can do things like that to like innocent people and get away with it. You have to realize, like the people that were making these films of this one of the one woman that he was talking about, and then a friend of hers sent that link to her. I'm like, you should have known that you were going to get caught. Do you know how many people visit that particular site on a daily basis or a weekly basis? And depending on whatever it is they're searching for, they're going to find it. And you're basically going to get caught. And the fact that they were able to get away with posting the sorry, I had to get a drink of something. That they were getting away posting these particular types of videos is mind-boggling. And the fact that it's taken them this long to catch it, I mean, honestly, I weep. I weep for the world.
Yeah, it's
because, I have no issues. Excuse me. I have no issues. If you want to do porn, do it. Go for it. You want to make amateur porn and put it up where everyone can watch it, go for it. But to just like humiliate someone like that and think that you're not going to have to answer for it is absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, and while I would not ever, just knowing how technology works, while I would never myself film a sex act or whatnot.
Oh, you totally would.
I am so paranoid about. I'll put it this way: I'd want to, but I am so paranoid.
You want to, but you're afraid to.
Yeah, because I know how technology works. So I mean, even like I would only do anything I would ever do sexually would all be consensual, But I'm not.
I feel bad for the woman that you talk into doing that, because you're just gonna be like, "Hey, baby, I'm gonna throw this mask on, and you see that little shiny dot up there in the corner? Smile, you're on candid camera."
No, I wouldn't even do it. It would be like a flat out conversation. Hey,
would you sign this waiver, please?
No, well, but like I say, I know how technology works, and so there have been cases where teen girls have gone to an Apple iPhone store, and the girl had just nude photos of herself, had not sent them to anyone. She admitted to, I'll put it that way, but she had nude photos of herself, and photos of her in panties and bra, and in bikinis. And, oh gosh, really, Lady Butterfly? Oh, that's a punishment and a half.
You brought that on yourself, my dude.
But anyway, like, so this girl, she.
Oh, hold that thought, Quentin. I see you backstage. Give us just a couple of minutes. Go ahead.
So this girl goes and she has to get something fixed on her iPhone, and then just it takes it into the Apple store, and the guys take her phone to the back, and they come back. Two of the guys come back giggling, and then when the girl goes through her phone, she goes to send a text message. She sees two numbers that she doesn't recognize, and looks at it, and the guys had sent those nude photos of her to their phones. So now, like, they actually were guilty of possessing child pornography.
Ooh.
And that got them obviously fired into a lot of legal hot water. But I get to that point to say this, that anything that is converted to ones and zeros and has internet access can and will be hacked. And if you are a big enough target, someone can get that information from you, and they will get those videos. And it doesn't even have to be. We were talking about revenge porn earlier. It doesn't matter the legality of this. Even though that stuff is illegal, once it's out there, it is out there.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things I have been telling people, never, ever, ever, ever send nude photos. Because the hack that they had in 2007, 2008 that involved Vanessa Hudgens, and it was like the one where it was the one before Jennifer Lawrence and all of them. And what those guys had done apparently is the people who had hacked and gotten those images had packet sniffers, and they were accessing the cell phone towers and pulling those data packets off. And that's how they got nude photos of Vanessa Hudgens and some of these others. So they were like, I mean, these guys who did that were pretty tech savvy. And now they've been able to, they accessed, with the fappening, they were able to use the recovery questions and get access to all of these celebrity women. So that's where he had people like Jennifer Lawrence, and then and you've had some of these others, and Whitney Cummings, a comedian. She had.
I remember hearing about that. While you're telling that, I'm going to go ahead and bring Quentin back in.
Yeah. So what happened in Whitney Cummings' situation is she took a Snapchat, and without even realizing, like, one of her assistants, after it was posted, realized, oh my gosh, you've got your nipple in here, and so they deleted it. Well, then. So only a few people saw it. I mean, it was like as soon as she posted, her assistant noticed. It was like, oh my gosh, you got to change this. And so they took that off. Well, someone got a screenshot. And so Whitney Cummings thought this was all water under the bridge. And because she took a photo of her, it was a selfie of her in the bathtub. And she was taking a bubble bath. And so she thought the bubbles were covering everything up. Well, obviously it wasn't. Well, this guy takes a screenshot, starts trying to blackmail her and extort her. Well, then she just said, okay, fine, and released the photo herself. And went on this huge tirade about how the people were violating her privacy, and they were trying to blackmail her for something that, and I can't remember exactly all that she was saying, but it's a really good post on it. All of her male colleagues in the comedy world started taking pictures of them shirtless and using the hashtag that Whitney Cummings had used. So whenever you looked up that hashtag, it was people like Bert Kreischer, like shirt off, flab hanging everywhere, and and other, like, some of the other guys are like taking pictures and like their testicles it's like falling out of their shorts, and that was all getting posted. And it was just this hilarity of like just in Twitter. I mean, it just took over. But
hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
All right, cool. No, dude, I remember when that Jennifer Lawrence thing hit, and people Like, what was that fucking all-female morning show? I can't remember the fucking name of it. It had Whoopi Goldberg. It had,
The View.
yeah, thank you, The View. They were, like, just fucking going at Jennifer Lawrence, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, it's not her choice this shit happened.
Well,
and that started, like, a huge-ass Twitter war between fucking Whoopi Goldberg and Jennifer Lawrence.
Well, and it also happened. The one with Whoopi Goldberg also occurred with her and Bella Thorne. Her and Bella Thorne were going after each other because Bella Thorne had a guy try to extort her. And I'm not like, please hear me out. I am not victim blaming or anything, because I'm like, it is very crappy that these guys broke federal law and state law and actually just being a decent human being to get these photos, because what were they expecting to find? I mean, yeah, they were probably expecting to find nude photos, but what if those women didn't have those nude photos in their iCloud accounts? What else were they expecting to find? Why did they actually do that? And I'm looking at it like, I mean, like for me, it's like the reason why I tell my friends not to send nude photos is not because it's like, oh, you're in a relationship with someone and, you know, because whenever any of us are in a relationship, we want to know that the other person finds us attractive and that they like our bodies for what they are. Or if, you know, in my case, you know, you're working out, you're losing weight, you're getting in shape, you're trying to gear up for the next phase in your life. And, you know, you want to share that progress. I mean, a lot of people do. And then, you know, if you're in a relationship with someone, it's like, well, hey, look at this. You know, I'm looking better naked every day. I get that. And so I will never victim blame here. But what I would say is, if you are going to send those type of photos, make sure you're using something that use an app that has end-to-end encryption, like WhatsApp or something that's secure.
That and don't put your face in it.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, I look at it like, you know, it's still the person's choice. They're obviously, you know, because I've had friends, you know, who sent those back and forth with, you know, their boyfriends, with their girlfriends, and you know, because they obviously are having a sexual relationship, and nothing wrong with that. So it's one of those things that kind of keeps everything, it keeps the spark alive in the marriage, or the dating relationship. Because I got married friends who've done that. You know,
right.
Like I've had married friends say, there's nothing like, you know, when you're sitting at work and you get a text from your wife, or you get a WhatsApp message from your wife, and, you know, you're like, hello.
I hope boss doesn't make me walk up.
I mean, I can agree with that. Like, I had a girlfriend at one point who used to do that all the time. Like, I'd be sitting at work and like go out on break and cut my cell phone on, and I'd have like 2 or 3 text messages from her, and one of them would just happen to be a picture, and it would just be like, hurry up and get off work. You need to come over. And I'm like,
wait, Widow, so you had a girlfriend? What?
More than you.
Crazy. Oh, I mean, sure. Like, I'm not trying to date nobody right now. But I've actually been blackmailed before, because I had a couple of friends who the inside joke was like, you know, like, so we were all hanging out one night, and we all were having a drinking game. This was back when we couldn't see each other, so we were always like on Hangouts or some shit, and we had the joke that like, hey, everyone needs to see like the bottom of our junk. So I sent like a shot of the bottom of my nutsack, and so somebody, like, I don't know how they got it, but a few years ago they're like, yo, if you don't do this, and this, we're gonna release this picture. I'm like, go ahead, release the bottom of my nutsack. People will think it's fucking turkey neck. I don't give a shit. What are you gonna do? It's like they were like asking for like $2,000 and they were gonna release my nutsack photo. I'm like, dude, it's a ball sack. I mean, what's the worst that's gonna happen? Everyone's gonna be like, oh, dude, nice sack. I mean, I'm not trying to play that down, but like I've been there, and it's fucking stupid. Like, I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, we all know you like, turkey neck in your nutsack. So
Oh, dude, that was an inside joke. We could change each other's fucking nicknames, and mine was Turkey Neck.
Well, yeah, it's and that right there, I think, is the biggest problem in all of this, is the extortion, because that
Right.
that goes straight into violating so many federal laws, that violates so many state laws, and it's I'm just gonna say it's just trash to do that, and the type of people who. And what's really interesting is the type of people who do that with internet photos or photos stolen from text messages. They really tend to be very. They don't
Scummy.
really think things through. They turn out to be very scummy, and they tend to have the IQ of
Of a turtle.
Yeah. And
I was gonna say of a snow pea, but
Yeah, let's change it to Snoopy, because turtles are fucking intelligent, man. Oh god, this Gatorade does suck. Ugh. Ugh.
But yeah, the guys who extort pretty well typically work for the mafia of some sort, but even then they usually get caught. I mean, extortion is always a bad idea. Let's just go ahead and say that. And also the bad thing about having those digital photos, the moment you give in to that type of extortion, the person go, yeah, I destroyed the photos. Well, what's to say they don't have a backup on a thumb drive somewhere and are going to come back and get you sometime later?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the same thing, the same philosophy with ransomware. You hear about all these ransomware attacks that happen to cities, to hospitals. They happen, and oftentimes hospitals and cities just refuse to negotiate, and sometimes they recover their data pretty well, and then they just give the middle finger to the guys trying to extort them, because there's really nothing much more they can do, because they're usually extorting them from countries that won't prosecute, for extortion through ransomware.
right.
Did y'all hear about that hacking group that was like, "Yo, Donald Trump, give us like $1 billion, or we're gonna leak the gay sex tape that we have on you"? Y'all
No.
Oh my god. I'm not. If anyone's a supporter of Donald Trump, I'm sorry, but I know, and it's fucked up. But I had to laugh at that. I'm like, look, I appreciate, you think that you have something that's gonna make you $1 million, but you guys are dumber than a bag of fucking potato chips. Like,
hey TF, Rage has a picture of you without your hat on. If you don't pay him, he's gonna release it.
Oh, well, tell him he'll just have to release it.
Are you sure about that?
Oh yeah, I'm very secure in my balding head.
Speaking of pictures, what's up, y'all?
Oh, how's it going, dude?
Yo, I've lost like 20 pounds, so I'm looking a little thinner.
Nice, man. What have you been doing?
Walking a lot.
Yeah,
Like
jerking it constantly.
No, dude, dude, I walked 14 miles yesterday.
Awesome, man.
Like on purpose too. Like, I hate myself, but I did it.
Well, everybody is probably sick of me saying this, but DDP Yoga works for me, man.
You're just a walking billboard for DDP Yoga.
I am, dude. Because
you need to get that logo tattooed on your left butt cheek.
What the fuck is DDP? Double dick penetration?
Diamond Dallas Page. He's a pro wrestler.
I'm just fucking with you. Sorry, that was a bad joke. On to the next subject. Yeah.
Oh, Rage. Oh, man. That just...
Dude, my fucking neck beard is growing in, too. Like, look at this shit. It's disgusting. I'm disappointed. Like, I'm looking like fucking redheaded Joe Dirt every fucking day. You mean to tell me that it just grows in all white trash like that? I don't know what you're saying, but yeah. I can fucking quote that movie now. Like, I've seen that movie so much. Joe Dirt, I can quote that movie by heart.
I haven't seen that movie in years.
Speaking of seeing things, do y'all ever watch that Tiger King thing?
Oh, that was crazy.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. It
Carol
was like,
Baskin
okay,
did it.
look, listen, like, I knew it was going to be a shit show before because everyone was telling me, oh, dude, this is so terrible, but you got to watch it. And, like, when it was super hyped, I didn't want to touch it. You know, I didn't want to fall into the fucking fandoms and shit because I'm not really into that. But the other night, I was super bored, and I had just got done watching Community for, like, the full thing, and then I watched all The Office, and I'm like, well, fuck, I'm running out of shows. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, why not? And, like, yeah, the people are fucking terrible, but, like, that story is fucking nuts, dude. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, I remember. I agree, Faith. I remember when that story broke, when it was like you had these two rival zoo keepers trying to kill each other. And, well, and what's really interesting, too, is I'm wondering what's going to happen with Doc Antle and several of the other people in there. I think by the end of this, Carol Baskin.
Oh, dude, she already owns that zoo.
Yeah, she'll be the only one left standing. Oh, and Jeff Lowe is the sleaziest guy out of all of them.
Doc,
Doc
is a piece of shit.
Are you talking about Mr. Sex Cult?
Doc Antle,
Doc is a piece of shit. I only had to watch one episode with him in it to realize he was a huge piece of shit. I was just like, God, all right. But no, like, yeah, Carol Baskins, as of now, owns the GW Zoo. So we don't know what's gonna happen. Well, like, dude, the problem I have with Carol Baskins is she's super hypocritical. Like, at one point,
as narcissistic as Joe Exotic.
Oh yeah. Plus, she owned and was breeding and selling big cats. You know, I'm not gonna say she killed her husband, but you know, it like, you don't just fucking disappear. Like, you don't just poof, you're gone. Like, and that van at the airport was mighty fucking suspicious. So, you know, she might have actually fed her husband to tigers. Joe Exotic might have had a point.
That's the most logical explanation.
Dude, I actually watched that music video, "Here Kitty Kitty" by Joe Exotic.
Which he doesn't actually think, by the way.
Oh my god, it was fucking hilarious because, like, I saw the preview of it in the show and I'm like, all right, nah, I gotta put this episode on pause and go fucking YouTube this. And apparently now, Joe Exotic, like, one of his team members is trying to get him pardoned by Donald Trump. So.
Oh, he shouldn't get pardoned, man, because he is just as dirty and guilty as everyone else in that whole thing. And the one that I thought, the part of the documentary I thought was just like, oh my gosh, was the funeral. When he was, because you could tell, like, he made everything about him at the dude's memorial. And he,
that was bad.
And he says, and he goes, you know, I looked at him and just said, why me? And he looked at me and said, God put me up here, put me on this earth to make you laugh, and I'm here to do my job. And, you know, whenever I would get down and get my head down, buried into work, he would always find a way to make me laugh by rubbing those big, beautiful balls in my face. They were his golden nuggets. Everybody knows how proud he was of them.
Everyone's seen them. No, dude, I legitly...
When he said that, I was like, what the hell, man?
My heart actually went out to the assistant that actually saw him kill himself. Like, I was oh.
That guy needs therapy. That guy is still dealing with
dude, like,
crap.
The fact that he was on that documentary, I was like, dude, balls. Like, props to you, but seriously, go get some fucking help. Like, my God.
And he can't afford it, so people started a GoFundMe to pay for him to go to therapy.
Well, like, dude, okay, so I'm gonna say this, and people are probably gonna get a little pissed at me. So, yeah, Joe Exotic is a bad person, right? He is a bad person. But, like, Animal Planet is now demonizing him, and I disagree with that. Like, yeah, people do fucked up shit, but, like, to like, name a show called Rescuing from Tiger King or some shit like that, that's not cool, dude. Like, come on. Like, he's serving his time. He's paying his penance. Just stop. Like, that's just me.
Honestly, I think that, I mean, I even watched. I finally gave in and watched it, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to see what all the hype's about and blah blah blah. I was at work. It was just a slow, dead night, and I sat there and watched the entire series almost in its entirety. And I got to the last episode. I had like 15 minutes left, and but before I even got to that last 15 minutes, I'm just like, everybody in this docuseries is just a horrible human being.
Not all of them. I don't think all of them are. Like that one woman that had her arm ripped off.
You got Joe Exotic, who's wanting to kill somebody, and then you got Carol Baskin, who obviously killed her husband and fed him to tigers, and then you got Sex Cult Man, and then
Yeah, Doc's a piece of shit.
Oh, I just call him Sex Cult Man. He's like a really strange superhero. I'm Sex Cult Man, But yeah, all of them, with the exception of the guy who was actually filming the show that was originally supposed to take place. With the exception of like him, everybody else was a piece of shit.
No, I will say that there were some of the workers at that place who genuinely cared for the animals. Those people, I felt like, were good, decent people. Like the guy with the long hair, you could tell he cared, and even Joe Exotic's one of his husbands, the one that didn't kill himself. That guy, he was pretty decent too after all of that, because
right, and he even wants to make up for what he did. Like he even said so.
Yeah, and Joe Exotic, like, they didn't come out
him up.
And say this. He didn't come out and say this, but there was definitely some of keeping those guys on something.
He did come out and say it. He did say it. He did say that's what he did. Like he in one of the, I can't remember which episode, he said it in, but he's like, yeah, there was a lot of mess, and I'm like, I was messed up in the head, and I'm still messed up from it. Like he boldly admitted, like, yeah, he kept giving us meth. Like, I'm not even gay. Like, he even said so.
Yeah, and because I mean, yeah, that's that shows you kind of how like narcissistic and manipulative Joe Exotic really was, because he was able to get guys that would never, under any circumstances, have found themselves in that relationship or that type of relationship. And if you look too, he always went after like the 18, 19-year-olds, basically the guys who are still trying to figure themselves out. And, if there was a 55-year-old guy going after an 18-year-old college student, red flags would be raised. People would be like, man, this is really messed up. Something's got to stop. But, when it was Joe Exotic doing that with those two guys, when there was obvious other additional manipulation going on there, it wasn't until this documentary came out that people were just like, something is really messed up about this. Because for me, I don't have a problem with any type of relationship 2 consenting, 3 or 4 consenting adults do. whatever you want to do is your business. I don't care with whom and what you do. I don't care if you want to be married, if you're a guy and you want to be married to a guy, or if you're a girl and want to be married to a girl, or if you want to have a guy-girl relationship. None of that bothers me.
I liked a lot of the picture, like the memes going around on Facebook where it was him and the two guys he was married to, and a lot of them would say, "I'm going to tell my kids that this was Nickelback," or "I'm going to."
Florida Georgia Line was my favorite one.
Oh no!
My all-time favorite was "This is Mushmouth" from Fat Albert. Do you feel old yet? I fucking died.
Oh no! One of my all-time favorites was, "I'm going to tell my kids this was Five Finger Death Punch."
Oh fuck you!
I hate that band.
You know what? Lick my butt. I love that band.
But anyway, like I was saying though, for me, I don't really care what any two or group of consenting adults do. So yes, 18, 19-year-old, while yes, they are legal and they can legally get married and do other things except buy alcohol and cigarettes now. But everything else is theirs for the taking. Oh, and they can't buy handguns, but everything else is theirs for the taking. And until they're but even then, it's like there is something predatory about a guy in his 50s going after a young woman or a young man. And I agree, Faith. At 18, you're only an adult legally, mentally. Hell no. And I would say, and not even, and really, we even know physically, you're still not there because you're still growing.
Right. Your brain is still developing.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm almost 23, and I'm not even an adult mentally.
Well, right, because your brain does not fully develop until you hit the age of 25.
Yeah, and so when you look at those guys, it's just kind of like, there's something really creepy about somebody in their 50s who has that fully developed brain preying on someone who doesn't have that fully developed brain, and that to me is extremely predatory, and that's my biggest problem with Joe Exotic. And I would still have a problem if it had been a guy in his 50s praying after an 18-year-old woman.
Yo, that's fucked up, Rage.
I know, no, that's actually legitimate. That goes back.
No, I know.
Like,
by the way,
in on that story.
By the way, Widows, Phoenix messaged you on Discord. She told me to tell you.
Okay. I'll pull that up here in just a second. What were you saying, TF?
Can y'all fill me in on that story about the guy in Germany?
Okay, basically what it is this is going back to like the whole deep web thing. There was a guy in Germany who basically his whole like fetish kind of thing was cannibalism. And there is I don't know if it's still up or not, but there was a forum on the deep web called the Cannibal Cafe. And this was basically where people could go and discuss like their fantasies about
eating people,
consuming another human being or being consumed, or to a certain extent, a lot of like there were people actually advertising themselves to be eaten on this particular deep web site. So this guy, I did not know that, Rage. I was not aware of that. So basically, he finds this this one person on this website who wanted to basically was putting, offering himself up to be consumed. So they live within like a reasonable distance from each other, and so basically what happened was they got together, uh, had sex, talked for a while. The guy who wanted to be eaten uh, took like a whole bottle of sleeping pills and turned like and drank a bottle of vodka or wine or something like that. And the guy who was going to actually eat him um, apparently cut off an appendage and proceeded to cook it, and it didn't turn out quite as well as he thought. And so finally the sleeping pills and the alcohol weren't really working quick enough, so this guy basically just slit the guy's throat in his bathtub and left him there to bleed out while he went and sat and read a Star Trek novel. And then by the time he was done reading, the guy was dead. And he basically just cut him up and cooked some of him that evening and ate him. And he butchered the rest of it and hid it in a hidden compartment in his freezer. And it was like I want to say it was maybe like a year or two before he was caught. And I don't remember the circumstances of him actually getting caught, but when he was caught, or they were searching his residence for something. Other than that, they searched the freezer and everything like that. They found the false bottom in the freezer. They found the human meat, and he went to jail. But the other thing about it is he videotaped the whole thing. And that videotape is locked up in a police station in Germany somewhere. But the only people that have ever seen the videotape are the police and the jury that was on the trial. Those are the judge. Those are the only people that have seen it.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I first popped in here, I did not know I was gonna be talking about this kind of shit.
Neither did we.
I took an edible about 20 minutes before I got on here. So
we've got about probably another like 25 minutes, and we're gonna wrap it up. But yeah, that's the circumstances of the that person in Germany that he was just talking about.
Yeah, Phoenix wanted to know if she could come on the show. So.
I just closed Discord.
Oh, open it back up.
Well, I'm working on it. Give me a damn minute. Okay.
No, like so.
Yeah, Teddy Bear, you are correct. This one's been a strange one for sure.
Oh, I see you stole my internet, wife. That's cool. No, you guys haven't even subbed to my channel yet. I see how I'm scared.
I have. I did a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, I'm talking about the new channel, like the new channel.
That's the one I'm talking about.
No, I'm talking about a different titled channel, my man.
Oh, I didn't know there was one beyond that.
Yeah, it's posted in my Discord server. I'm actually gonna have to stream on the other one because my current channel is not fucking working for some reason because fucking YouTube doesn't like me. So, you know.
Okay.
But ever since I came back to YouTube, I've been, like a fucking whole bunch of different shit. Like, before I came on this show, I was on a guy's named Progressive Liberal channel. I've been on. I'm talking to Geek Room about maybe being on there. So I mean, I've been fucking busy, my man. Like, it's been crazy.
Well, I mean, I've listened to the streams that you've done and everything, and I'm just glad that you're getting back at it, man.
Yeah, I've had some streams that weren't so, entertaining. I'm getting back at it this Saturday. I'm hoping to have, well, this Friday actually. So I have a podcast that I started called the Noncast Podcast, and it's usually Saturdays, but I have therapy this Saturday, so it's gonna be Friday night. We're gonna be talking about a whole bunch of different shit, so that's gonna be fun.
Well, right on. Well, right now I'm gonna let's see here. Yeah, sorry guys. I know this one has been a little strange.
Strange.
Well, that's beside the point,
A lot of strange.
But it's, you never know what we're gonna, when it's just me and TF. You never know what we're actually gonna end up talking about.
Nope, nobody does.
Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, we usually try to have some kind of format, and tonight was just kind of a surprise. So, yeah, it's been a little bit off the wall, and I actually looked at the channel a while ago, and apparently, like, we've got like 4 dislikes or 5 dislikes on this particular episode already.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, how many dislikes are normal for us?
None. I think like the only episodes that I've noticed dislikes on are
It's because I'm here. No one likes gingers.
You're bringing us down, man. You're bringing us down.
Yeah, speaking of which, man, I'm sorry it took me this long to actually pop onto one of these. Like I said, man, I've been writing a play. I've been, exercising, working on getting certification for my fucking security license. I've been doing my own channel. I've been on other people's channel. I've just been fucking busy, and I feel bad I haven't been able to pop on. So I am sorry about that.
Oh no, you're good, brother. You're absolutely good. But I think we're gonna take probably this last 20 minutes, and me and TF are gonna wrap it up. But I'm gonna be doing a panel show in a couple of weeks, so I'll keep you up to date with that. And I'm gonna have probably at least maybe 2 to 3 other people on. So I'll keep you up to date, and I'll definitely have you on for the panel show. All right, bro?
Cool. If you guys want to, I'm going to be doing a stream here in a bit. If y'all want to pop on there, just let me know.
All right, man. Well, good to see you, Quentin. Thanks for stopping by, brother.
All right. Peace out, y'all. Have a good night.
All right. You too, bro. Let's see. We must make the likes and dislikes balance as all things should be.
Yes, we do apologize because we've noticed like half the people have not liked this episode.
Yeah, well, it's been different than what we normally do for sure. But and I think we did go a little bit off the deep end on this one.
Definitely. We did.
Yeah, we literally tripped and fell into the abyss, and we just did not try to catch ourselves. So,
yeah, I think the talking about cannibalism may have done it.
Probably, or it could have been the mentioning of a Serbian film. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, getting into that deep those really gross topics. I mean, maybe we should probably stay away from things like cannibalism and
right
films and stuff.
Right. So I promise you, I promise to all of you in the chat and also the people who will be listening to this later on that we won't have many shows like this. It's nice to kind of spice things up every once in a while, but you know, we won't have regular shows where let's what is the hang on, what is this? I'm like a crab, I drag you all down. So yeah, we won't have too many of these. I really don't want to say this is like a dark episode. But yeah, we won't have many episodes like this. I can assure you of that. But yeah, we really just kind of fell into that. We summoned the abyss tonight as far as episodes go. So yeah.
Well, I mean, you can't win them all.
Well, yeah, that's very, very true.
Well, one thing too, I was going to say, I haven't caught up on this news, but it's something I'm catching up with after this. Apparently, Rey Mysterio may have lost an eye during Extreme Rules.
I haven't even watched that yet. I'm still digging back into Nitro and Thunder actually just started now. So because I'm now officially into 1998 as far as WCW goes.
Dude, I thought I am watching that what was the documentary we were talking about, that series?
The Monday Night Wars.
Dude, that is great. That is a great series, man.
I told you. But you don't want to listen to me because you're TF. It's like, ooh, look at me. I'm TF. I ain't got to listen to Widows because he's stupid. So I'm just going to do whatever I want.
Listen here, brother.
Oh God. Well, guys, I think we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna wrap up for the evening. But yes, I understand.
We can really squeeze out another 17 minutes, man. Make it an even 2 hours.
All right, you talked me into it, you dirty bastard.
Oh yeah. Well, so we can talk about something light, because nobody seems to dislike it when we talk about pro wrestling here.
Well, either that or they just all disappear because we start. Hang on just a second. Let me actually for the last little bit here. Go ahead and get we'll go ahead and get Sphinx in here. Give me just a minute.
All right.
We can get her to pop in with us for just the last 15. But because she was wanting to come on earlier, and then she was going to start streaming on her channel, and then she was saying that trolls were popping in and all of that. And somebody was in the chat earlier. I don't know who Velcro Bob is, but yeah, just asking for just a link to be able to join the show. No, we don't do that here. So may work on other channels, but not on this one. We don't send out. I send out links to people that I've communicated with on a regular basis, but as far as just like coming in here and it's just like, hey, send me a link. No, we're not going to do that, because if we don't know you, or if you're not part of someone else's community that has started listening to the show and subscribes to the channel and all of that, then no, we're definitely not going to do that.
But so yeah, so I've been going back through and rewatching some of the stuff on the Monday Night Wars, and one thing excuse me.
Now don't start that.
Yeah, so one thing that I noticed, seeing going back and rewatching episodes of both Nitro and Raw, and then seeing them side by side, you really learned which one had the better production value at that time.
Yeah. Oh, and now
which one had Ted Turner's $1 billion behind it.
Oh, well,
and WCW was poised to just totally overtake and possibly buy out WWE.
Yeah, and then they had the finger poke of doom.
Mm-hmm. Well, that and combination of the reading the results of Raw live on Monday Nitro when it was Mick Foley versus I think maybe The Rock.
I don't remember who the opponent was, but it was the night that he actually won the title, because they announced that he had won the title, and then everybody switched over there, and that was pretty much the finger poke of doom, and that were pretty much the beginning of the end. There's only one person you can blame for the destruction of WCW, and that is Vince Russo. And he can kiss the whitest part of my Irish ass, because he just destroyed.
Yeah.
In 2000 is when Nitro changed their intro, their music. It went to 3 hours and all this garbage. People weren't getting pushed the way that they should. Right now, where I am as far as Nitro and all of that goes, Goldberg has started to appear, and he's he's just now appearing and starting that undefeated streak and all of that. Let's see what are some of the big matches that I've actually I've seen lately. I saw the no holds barred match between DDP and Macho Man from Halloween Havoc in 1997.
Yeah.
There was the Rowdy Piper Hulk Hogan cage match. There was the Sting versus Hulk Hogan at Starrcade 97. There was the whole hang on, let's see. Man, Rage is on top of it. It was Rock teamed with Vince McMahon as Mankind. Yeah, that's right. It was Mankind. But he's gonna be Mrs. Foley's baby boy, as good old JR would call him. And
See, right there, that's another thing too. Well, I was going to say something about how today, when you said JR, that just really drove home.
You're talking about the commentators.
Yeah, we don't have the color commentators anymore.
Oh no, we don't. Well, no, we do, but we just don't have good ones. We don't have good commentators. You had JR, and as
Jerry
much.
Lawler.
Oh God, I couldn't stand him as a commentator. He was awful.
But Jerry Lawler, though, if you ever go back and watch the old Raws, he is always pulling for the heels.
Well,
whereas JR is pulling for the faces.
Right, but see, that was something that WWE had started, because if you look at WCW, you kind of had something like that when you had Tony Schiavone, Mike Tenay, and Bobby the Brain Heenan, a.k.a. Weasel. I honestly think that, I mean, Bobby Heenan would kind of do that a little bit, but when you had, and to me, out of all of the WCW commentators, my favorites were always Tony Schiavone, Mike Tenay, and Larry Zbyszko. Those were the three best commentators that they ever had. Now, the worst ones that they had were going to be Steve Mongo McMichael. Oh God, don't even get me started on him. One of the not okay. I'll just go ahead and say it. Number one, he was one of the worst color commentators for that WCW ever had. Number two, he got to join the Four Horsemen, which to this day I still don't understand. Like, the Four Horsemen were an elite group of wrestlers. Yeah. I mean, you had Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, J.J. Dillon. I mean, big names that were members of this group. And then as you progressed into the 90s, you still had Ric Flair at the helm, Arn Anderson until he got hurt, Chris Benoit. Oh, my God. If anybody deserved to be a member of the Four Horsemen, it was Chris Benoit. Yeah. And then they bring in Mongo McMichael, who went from – and the only reason that he even got the opportunity to do that was because he teamed up with Kevin Green from the Carolina Panthers for some match against some other team. I don't even remember who it was.
Oh, dude. So,
and then basically what happens is his wife, Deborah McMichael, comes down to ringside. She's got a Halliburton suitcase in her hand, and it's full of money and a Four Horsemen t-shirt. And they're wanting him to join the Horsemen. Like, why? Why would you do that? And then when the whole NWO thing started and Kurt Hennig came into WCW, of course, that's when Arn Anderson had gotten hurt, and he offered Kurt Hennig his spot as the enforcer. Then he betrays Ric Flair, joins the NWO, and basically dismantles the Horsemen, which, if you fast forward, I think it was probably in either early, mid, or somewhere possibly around late 1998, the Four Horsemen reform, and it was Ric Flair, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, and somebody else. I can't remember.
Eddie Guerrero?
No, Eddie Guerrero was never a member of the Four Horsemen. I know that.
I'm looking it up, doing Google food.
What? TF and his deadly Google foo. Everyone fear his Google foo.
All right, the Four Horsemen. Members. So we had Steve McMichael, Chris Benoit, Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett was more like a fluke member.
Yeah, he was only there for 1 year. And then you had Dean Malenko, Kurt Hennig, Chris Benoit, Brian Pillman was there for a year.
Yeah, and I was never really – and see, that was the thing. Brian Pillman being in WCW was kind of shitty because he was in WCW, was in the Four Horsemen, got kicked out, and then went back to WWE and started feuding with Stone Cold Steve Austin, which him and Stone Cold Steve Austin used to be tag team partners.
Yeah.
I know I'm talking about it was the last like incarnation of the Horsemen, which was in WCW. It was Ric Flair, Chris Benoit, and Dean Malenko, I know. But I don't remember who the fourth one was.
So yeah, they just have Dean Malenko, Kurt Hennig, Jeff Jarrett, Steve McMichael, and Chris Benoit. So
I mean, unless like the whole thing because what it was with Kurt Hennig betrayed the Horsemen, joined the NWO. I think Kurt Hennig gets. I don't remember, but I think he gets kicked out of the NWO because right before the split, a lot of members of the NWO disappeared because you had Six disappeared. I think Scott Norton disappeared. I can't remember who else because in the Wolfpack basically was Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, K-Dog, Conan.
And then you had Macho Man, I think.
Yeah, I think Macho Man sided with the Wolfpack.
Sting did.
And then Sting then Lex Luger joined the Wolfpack. Then Sting joined the Wolfpack, which was a shocker. Like, why would you do that? You're carrying the banner of WCW, which is what they're wanting and needing you to do, and you're going to join one of the NWO factions. And that's when it started getting too saturated. And then you still had the Black and White, which was Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff, Google Foo.
Mm-hmm. All right.
We're talking specifically about the split. That's what we're talking about.
Okay.
Because the Wolfpack was Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Sting, Lex Luger, and Macho Man and Conan, a.k.a. K-Dog. Which I was always a big K-Dog fan. I always thought he was the shit. Like, when he dropped the whole, like, colorful, like, the whole, color costume, like, kind of thing, and he started actually, like, doing, the cholo look, the Mexican gangster kind of look, that's when I really got into him, because, I mean, he played that persona better. That was totally something he should have been doing the whole time.
Let's see. Okay. Let's see. You had in the original, you had Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Hulk Hogan. We know Ted DiBiase and the Giant. Let's see. Then you had the NWO Sting. 6, Vincent, Miss Elizabeth, Eric Bischoff, Bagwell, Scott Norton, Randy Savage. There are some people I'm skipping here. Kurt Hennig, Conan, Rick Rude, Dusty Rhodes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot that Dusty Rhodes was he jumped on that bandwagon for just son of a plumber. Oh man, don't even get me started on Dusty Rhodes. I love that man so much. He was awesome. Just his commentary was totally worth it. Well, we have hit the 2 hour mark for the night, but we'll do another show where we're just kind of chilling and talking and everything like that. We'll do another one of those soon. And I promise you, everyone who is listening right now, we won't slip back into the abyss. I can assure you of that. We may do it inadvertently sometimes, but it's not intentional. I can promise you that very, very much. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this surprise Monday evening show. We always have a blast doing a surprise show every now and then. But remember, this coming Sunday, we are going to have the Wanderer on. He's going to come on and he's going to hang out with us and probably verbally abuse TF for a little while, which will be entertaining to see. So that means you can't do your name change until our next episode because, Wanderer has to verbally abuse you. So,
okay. Well, so, hey, one thing I wanted to say before we go, though, one thing I was talking to one of our mutual friends today about when you had all the WWF wrestlers going to WCW, and they were the ones who formed the NWO.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, that was the pre-invasion storyline, but going the opposite direction. That was basically WCW's invasion storyline.
Oh well, no, the WCW invasion thing was the whole after Vince McMahon basically bought it out.
Yeah, but the Ted Turner, if the AOL, see the other thing that sunk WCW were the guys at AOL Time Warner who basically wanted to sink it. Ted Turner wanted to keep it.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. He did want to keep it. But we'll pick back up on this. We may end up doing another show maybe sometime early part of next week. But this Sunday, remember everybody, we're going to have the Wanderer on for a little while, and we're going to have some fun with that. But once again, I do want to apologize to everyone. We did kind of go to a dark place tonight, but sometimes things like that happen, just like an episode of your favorite TV show. They always have those dark ones, and tonight was ours. So don't let it discourage you from coming back. We love our audience. We love interacting in the chat. We love always having a good time. But we will see you guys on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, or 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK time. And like I said, Warner will be on, and we're going to have some fun with him. And everything is going to slide back into its normalcy, I guess you could say. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We really do appreciate it. TF, anything from you before we go?
No, we appreciate it, guys, and thank you for bearing with us while
we fell into the abyss.
Yeah. we appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much once again for tuning into the Sanctum Sanctorum. I am Widow's son. Once again, my illustrious co-host TF. And until this Sunday, peace be with you.